So, while Yugioh continues her quest to become the perfect Otis, we get what was a mediocre episode that focuses on the Dark Men. Now, this wasn't a mediocre episode because of the psychological and developmental side of the characters, but more because the duel itself just didn't interest me that much. However, like I said, the development on display saved this episode from being a complete waste of time. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downstairs. Today we're talking all things episode 123 of the Go Rush anime series. An episode that wasn't the best by all things considered, however a couple of interesting things did happen, so let's talk about it. So first and foremost, the bad. Now dueling because of soy sauce and having this whole revolution because the Dark Meister is clearly only giving them one drop per day, and seeing Fumuraka leading this revolt, I can't lie, made me dislike Fumuraka even more, as it was just too stupid. However, before you roast me in the comments, I know the only reason as to why Fumuraka was doing this is to get his friends back. He may have left them, but he still cares about his friends slash family, and we see this by his determination to not admit defeat, as winning would bring them closer together again. So I did like this human side of him coming out, but here it was slightly hurtful for him in terms of the character within this episode, just because it was a bit too wacky. However, on a more positive note, this episode did provide us with more examples of the Dark Men gaining their own sense of self and evolving as people. I'm guessing the dark power, it helps them to grow that sense of self and triggers that awakening, which is why Yuumu slash the Dark Meister doesn't want them to eat or consume too much. Plus they aren't winning very often, so it'll take a while to refill that jar. We've been seeing Zenet asking more and more questions about the Dark Meister and going against orders or just doing her own thing. Now, these same things keep happening, and it does help to question her loyalty to the Dark Empire, as she was willing to revolt against them before being swayed to stay. Now, I do think if there was going to be another duel for Yuumu again before the final, it would be against Zenet. Now, it would be a loss for Zenet's character here, but it would get more and more into her character's rebellious nature that we're seeing from her. Now again, it might not be rebellious, it might simply just be curiosity. But I do like this kind of different approach that we've been slowly seeing with Zenet's character that's building and building and building. Sayaba's awakening was a cool little scene, but this guy makes zero sense afterwards. And I love Park's mood towards all of this, as she's just done with everything and their goofy nonsense. However, seeing that overconfidence and cockiness, we see him adapt from Yugioh is still present within this episode, and he's also got his first win of the series, which is a weird thing to say because you would think that because he's dueled quite a few times, he would have had one by now. But no, this is his first win, and it's against another Dark Man, who, again, their wins are very few and far between. As for the duel, yes, it was a matchup that I wasn't excited about in the least. But Fumuraka using the dark matter fusion was basically a super polymerization using both his and his opponent's monsters that were in the shadows. And switcheroo, it happened a different way around at the end, where Sayabird wins by using his opponent's monsters to benefit himself. That was a cool little twist. So yeah, there wasn't much else I can say about this episode. The plot slowly progressing thanks to this, but it did feel more fillerish than plot progression. Hopefully the future episodes improve as we move on to the next one. Have a great day, alligator, matane, goodbye.